Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome to yet another edition of Let's Talk here on Divine Mercy Radio Television. We are glad to be with you again today. It's the last day of the month of October, and we are getting into the month of November. Celebrations are in order. We know Madame Christelle is preparing for one wedding to another. When we have the Ember months, November and December, a lot of weddings, a lot of funeral celebrations. It's just celebrations, but we pray God that it should be smooth as that of last year, because this period we equally have some sad events that usually happen, but we thank God that things have been on smoothly. October has been friendly in such a way, but we are now, I don't know, it's like during the day we have dry season, and at night we have rainy season. It's been raining very heavily during the past few days here in Boya, but we hope that the rains, they are doing their part to make the crops grow, and we too will equally do our part. I am Prince Likia. I am the host for this program. As usual, I have great minds who, despite their busy schedule, they will abandon what they are doing to always come here to sit around this table. So together we put our heads to make Cameroon, a society, to be a better place for you and I. Without much ado, I would like you to know those who, due to their busy schedule, made it here on the studios today. I'll begin with my left, Madame Christelle. Of course, she needs no introduction. I would really like to know you're a designer, because each time you come on the camera, you're always packing with, beautiful dresses, and you look like a real African woman. Asha, I know during the weekend you lost a very great friend and sister, but how have you been?
I'll borrow Apollo's words. Fortunately, she's not here. I'm holding up.
Yeah.
For the first time, I have to go on air and say I'm holding up, because it's been actually a crazy weekend, a dark one at that. Morning with friends and family, but God's grace is enough for your life. So I say thank God for being among the living today.
Thank you so very much. And Madame Fedrine Njema was not with us last week because she was not feeling too well. We thank God for good health, and she's here with us today. She too, she buried her grandmother. We mentioned this maybe last two editions. She buried her grandmother this week, and it's rather unfortunate that most of members of my panelists were bereaved. Asha, and welcome. How are you holding up?
Thank you. I'm alive.
Yeah, very important. Very important, you are alive.
Yeah.
And how was everything?
We thank God everything went on well. Smoothly.
All right. We thank God for that. And it's when we discussed this the last time with Mr. Ebon, when we lost our grandparents, we are celebrating the life of, not that you see a young man of about 19, 20, 21 will die, and then the banners will carry celebrating the life of no. So we should know. Those are kind of painful exhibit. Whether it's an elderly person or a young man who dies, it will obviously be painful. And all we can do is to pray for a better place for them, and of course that they should prepare maybe a good road for us. Mr. Ebon Fidel, this one that you're holding your hand on your head. I did not hear that you were bereaved, so I don't know if you are feeling kind of empathy with the two ladies who are here. How was your weekend?
I was more bereaved than they were. Yes, I was sharing at the background.
I understand.
Yeah, and coupled with the other things too. The weekend was nice. It was a nice one, though was really busy, but I thank God for having made the achievements that I made on that day, or within the 2 days or 3 days, as the case may be. Of course, they are remarkable, and they are milestones achieved, and I thank God, because if not of Him, I won't have been able. And thank God again for this platform that will always come and contribute a little quarter to the development of, or to change the narrative of what is already happening. Because even if we talk and we talk and talk, we know that there are some people that of course are going to listen to us and try to do some of those things that we are recommending. And for sure they may one day give some testimonies.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Ebong. And just from the feedback, I received some text messages and there are some few persons who met us and said the program last week we really touched on some pertinent issues. And a guy, J-Boy, he's listening from Bunduma. He owns a store. And that most of what was said here are errors that he has been making unknowingly. And that just going through the program, he will try to adjust some of them, because we kind of mentioned, Christel said something about if you have that capital, you don't even imagine how much you're paying yourself and everything to put other costs, just take it as a gain. He said he was not looking all into that and all other things that was said, but that it is, of course, it has a very great impact on him. So those just think that what we are doing here ends at these four walls, but no, it creates a lot of impact out there. Madam Fedrin, you're not with us last week. Today we are continuing with our topic of last week, since it's very broad. We're talking about institutional management and leadership. How can people better manage their institutions, their businesses, and how leaders should lead their teams, should lead their institutions, or wherever they find themselves. Last week we did not touch on the characteristics of a good leader. We just talked on some of the errors that people make in their businesses. So today we'll dive more onto leadership, but we'll still try to do some crash courses on institutional management. Now last week, Madam Christel and Mr. Ebong, they were here. We talked at length about some of the errors people make while handling businesses. In Cameroon, you will bear with me that most of the times you see somebody will open a shop, sooner or later that shop closes. Or maybe Ebong will be selling in his shop A today. After 1 year, you see the Christel coming to that shop, Ebong is out of stock. So all these things we want to look at what is wrong, what makes people not to stay. While growing up, you have one store that you'll be there for years, but today, somebody will start selling shoes tomorrow. Maybe the person will say, okay, it's dresses that it's trending now. People just keep switching. So let's begin with institutional management. What are some of the errors you think people who do businesses, people who have institutions, schools, whatsoever, they make that can either mar the institution sort of growing it up?
Some of the errors that we make, sometimes you see a business owner, probably now the person is into fashion, not long after the person moves to probably food business, maybe to a bar. I think probably they have not really known their niche. They've not really known, you don't know your target.
They've not carved their niche, yes.
You've not carved your niche, you don't yet have a target audience. You don't know why you're going into that, because I believe every business is designed to give solutions to a particular problem.
Yes.
If you're unable to identify that problem, it will be very difficult for you to give solutions to that. And sometimes you see, okay, maybe Christel is into fashion, she's doing so well for herself, she's growing. I would be like, oh, okay, since she's into fashion and she's making a lot of
let me get into
profit
fashion
for me, let me just get into it as well, and I will just do that. Meanwhile, I've not understood the business. I've not known what actually made her to come out as a business person who wants to do that particular thing. Now, generally at the level of institutions, let's say for schools, you see sometimes schools are falling. We'll say probably as a result of bad management. You see other institutions as a result of bad management. Maybe the leaders don't really carry their team along with them while they are going up. They don't have empathy for their team members. They are not very flexible. They are not open to receive corrections, open for growth, open for suggestions. Because I am the one who is the manager of this radio station, this TV station, nobody should give me an idea. What I say stands, whether it's good or bad. Everybody has to follow it. I don't give room for improvement. I don't want to study more, to know more, to get better. Forgetting that we need all of that to get better at everything we do.
Now, let me stay with you. You are a member of an institution and you hold a very vital position in that institution. I don't want to call the name for publicity, say people pay me money. Anyway, you are the office manager. You're the office manager of Hope Academy Bilingual High School, and office manager means you manage the office and everything. What are some of the challenges you feel as a leader with your team members, maybe the teachers, the staff, and how do you try to maybe resolve or go about, I don't want to put it as a stubborn, a challenging member of the team?
Sometimes it's difficult to deal with teachers. I don't really tolerate a lot, but then So you forgive me. But then I'm trying my best to have empathy for them, to see like why I should be very relaxed around them. I don't want to go very hard. The principal, one time I had a conversation with him and he mentioned that as a leader I can either be the carrot or the
Stick.
So I decided to be the carrot. Hard when it's necessary and soft when it's necessary. So I try to blend the two so that I make the environment very conducive for everyone to be productive.
Oh, thank you so very much, Madam Fedrine. At least you are now on the same level with Mr. Ebong and Madam Christelle, who last week educated viewers much. And Mr. Ebong, let me now come to you. She mentioned something about people getting into business without getting to study the level of the water or get to know, carve their niche. We mentioned last time that our brothers from Nigeria, they do very well in business, that we cannot compare. Is it because maybe they spend some time to study the business? We call it boy. Because maybe I can go to primary school when I'm at class 7, or maybe secondary school when I have my advanced level. I go and serve under Mr. Ebong for like 2, 3, or 4 years for apprenticeship, and after that you settle me. While I'm under you, maybe I'm studying the business and everything and all that, but yeah, people just maybe due to hardship, or you sell your land and you have 5-10 million. How can I invest this money? Oh, okay, Madam Christelle is selling gas bottle, you just go into it. Don't you think that training before getting into a business, or maybe just that crash course, is really very important?
Yeah, I think it's important, very, very necessary, but the difficulty that many people out there will have is probably having the opportunity to get the needed training or the crash courses that they can have before they get into business. But if we can waive training aside, then it's first of all very necessary for somebody, before you get into a business, you first of all do some background studies, background check on the business. It's not like it's everything that money can buy that can be sold out there and that you can make the profits in return. There are some goods that you will buy and you keep them and they will stay there for long until they expire and nobody's coming to get them. So there's first of all that need for somebody whosoever wants to do business. You sit on a table, you calculate the different options, you calculate your market, you calculate your target audience, you calculate how are you going to do positioning. Obviously in the mind of the potential consumer. If it's business that needs advert, how are you going to do your advert to convince people or to sway people from buying product A to come and buy your own product? So there are a whole lot of things that are actually involved. But in the most important one is actually really having to sit down. You look at a market. For instance, if Boya, let's say Boya has about 300,000 persons in it, you should be able to think of a business that at least demanding 100,000 people should be able to. In fact, it means that you have a potential market of 100,000 people. Out of the 300. Now, let's take for instance the businesses that you see them that flourish fastly are those that are dealing with building material store. Yeah. So you see that even if it's in any corner of the quarter, that somebody is selling cement, is selling some time, is selling some few things, some small rods, and a whole lot of stuff. You see that the people that are around that business area will of course be the ones who patronize you. Yeah. Because for instance, I will not have a place right down around Bulu or Likoko, then I come and buy cement and pay for transportation, and then I pay for transportation from that place to I'll be looking for somewhere that is very close. And if you're looking for somewhere that's very close, okay, check now the number of buildings that people are doing that are coming up on a daily basis. So you see that if you are in one quarter and you have most of the materials that people need in terms of building. Now we're talking about the rods, the binding wires, the cement, what is cement 42 or cement 32, which of them that you have, and you have an available means of transporting them to the site. It means that you have a potential market, because the people around there are going to patronize you. So there are some businesses that it's like you have taken them closer to the customer. And when you take such a business closer to the customer, already you know that whether that customer is in good terms with you or is not in good terms with you, the customer must buy. It's completely different from what you have. Like, there are other types of businesses that people get into that they don't even calculate. This type of business that we call it hairdressing, for instance, this hairdressing type of stuff, you see people living Limbe. See somebody leaving Limbe to come and do her hair in Boya. See somebody leaving Boya to go and do her hair in Tiko or in Limbe or whatsoever. Those are the types of businesses that once you enter into it, know you very well that you will be for quite some time before you can be able to have the customers that you need to have. And in such types of business, now it equally determines that you need to have some other qualities too, because with businesses that especially the hairdressing types of businesses, if you want to get any type of Kongosa or whatever, they mostly take place in such a place. So it calls for you now to be very, very friendly to people and to go to a certain level, keeping your own values aside because you want to get people. And know you well that once you are attracted to once a particular customer is attracted to you because of probably the types of gifts that you people used to give and you people used to do and so on, that person will get glued to you all the time. So aside all of this, it's always necessary, first of all, if somebody wants to go to business, have a seat. If it's 1 million francs that you have, calculate your financial expenses, calculate your projected balance sheet for probably for the next year, for the next 2 years, and then you see whether the market you have can be able to do all of the, can be able to make you achieve your goals or your objectives. Because if it's difficult, if it cannot go, then there's no need for you to go into that business. And that's why it's very common for you to see a business comes up today, you pay a rent for probably 1 year, and after the 1 year you're unable to even feed out of it.
I'm telling you.
I know a shop in Moleko, right? In fact, a very big hall, and what are they doing there? They are selling ice cream, just ice cream alone. Just ice cream alone. There was a particular time that we went there and I asked, okay, give us some ice cream for 500 francs. And then I asked again, is it for 500 francs? They said yes. Okay, we had paid when we didn't want to actually go away. We sat, we consumed the 3 cups of ice cream for 1,500 francs and we left. And since then, whenever I pass, I know that I had once sat here, but I'm not thinking of the day that I can go and sit there again. Now, when you rent a very big hall, probably you want to do a classic ice cream joint. You're forgetting to know that there are these people that are having their small machines by the side of the road that can give you readily available ice cream for 100 francs. The ice cream that you give for somebody for 500 francs, they are giving that same ice cream to somebody for 250 francs or probably for 300 francs. Who are you? Who do you think that you want to
and that man there is
come
not
and
paying
sit?
all that rent and all
The person doesn't pay rent. The person probably does not pay taxes, or even if pay taxes, probably very minimal. And then you have a hall that the hall alone is not less than 150,000 francs, or let's say it's even 100,000.
You need to employ people, pay them.
100,000. You have like 2 girls that are selling for you. There is the main chef. I don't know what I call the chef or the what. The main person, and you have 2 people. So you see that at the end of the day, when you calculate the 2 girls that you pay and the main person together with the hall per month, you're spending around the border of 250 if it's too small. So 250,000 francs times 10 is going to give about 2.5 million. So if you do by times 12, it's about 3 million. Are you sure only the ice cream alone can be able to cover up just that expenses alone? So people, we need to actually, before you want to do business, get closer to some people. Ask them questions. Do your market research before you can jump into doing business.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Mr. Ebo. You mentioned something that caught my attention. I would like to coin it into full package. You mentioned someone who owns a building material shop and you have a ready means of transportation. Now you make your customers to be very comfortable.
Sure.
I can just call and say, Mr. Ebo, I need 50 bags cement, 30 rods and stuff, and you say, okay, I'm bringing them, and you drop them at my chantier.
That's what
Life made easy. Not that I need to leave my chantier and then run and go look for KK and then start climbing on the KK and all that.
That's what is up to now in all construction.
Yeah, it's full package, yes.
Just call, I need this, say, okay, in 10 minutes or 20 minutes we'll be there. They come and give you right at your side. Even if a bag of cement is added 100 francs for transportation cost, it means
you
nothing.
not feel it, because that time of displacing yourself and all that. If you see, even in most of these ice cream joints or beer parlors, they make it in such a way that you sit there, you have somewhere that you can charge your phone.
That's it.
And then maybe if you are pressed, you have a clean toilet. You can stay there for hours without you even noticing, because one of the things that might make you to run to go home is maybe my phone is low, or maybe there's no cable network to watch the common series now that people watch and all that. So the full package is really very important. Now, Madam Christian, let me come to you. I look at you as an Igbo woman, because you know, Bamile case, the Igbos back here. We've mentioned most businesses that people just dive into that are a little bit risky. After 1 year might collapse. I'll give you one. Most ladies today, they want to go into fashion. But I have a very good friend who has a very big fashion shop at Moliko. She tells me that fashion is good, but it's risky, because most of the dresses, they go out of fashion. Which means you cannot go to the market, you see something that is in fashion, you buy so much, maybe by next month that thing has gone out of fashion. So you need to really know what is trending, and you know how long you will trend and order before you buy. What do you think are some of the businesses, especially in this boya, that you can be sure that if I put my 1 million or 2 million there, it can sustain you for maybe some number of years without not just starting at January and then December we are closing the shop?
That question is very risky. The question itself is risky, because I don't think there's any business that you can be very sure. And if we want to go into those businesses that can give you some high level of certainty, it means the costs of establishing those businesses are high. That is, you're definitely going to something that is rare to find, that people would come to your you will always want your services. But just like what Fredrine said, once you understand your target population and you go for what you've understood, you've mastered, you definitely make success. Now I draw back from our Igbo brothers. Most when you go to the market where they sell material, it's just them selling material. The same thing, but they are all flourishing because they understand the business and what to do at a particular time. So rather than focusing on what you should do that no one has done, which does not exist, because everything is everywhere. Now there's something, you mentioned someone who liked our program last week and kind of identified his challenges. Now there was something I want to mention regarding businesses, whether it's a company or a business or an institution, something we ignore called the SWOT analysis. It's very simple, but that's what can make or mar your business. SWOT is just SWOT. That's your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So now when you kind of, it's a simple list there. You can do it for your small business, even if it's a provision store. It works for everyone, not some big companies or so. Your strengths should just be the things you are good at. What are the things you are doing that your customers are appreciative about? Once you list them, and your weaknesses, what can you do better? It's not like if you're insulting, because some of us are hyper, somebody may kind of talk to you in a very bad way, and you want, but now your weaknesses, you want to focus on those things that you think you can improve on. Your opportunities, what are the other things that can make your business better? For example, if someone is doing fashion, now fashion is very broad. You can go into kid fashion, female, male, age, and all. Now you can stay in fashion, but you change the trend in time. For example, during Christmas, very few of us are focused on Christmas dresses, unless our sisters in Moliko are all. But you see our kids, they want to dress up and they want to feel the season. So I am in fashion business, but during this festive period, I'm tilting towards kids clothing. Now you see that you stay in your line of business, but now you're targeting now a different set of, and now targeting this population, you know the kind of people you are dealing with. Now you should not go to Moya and open a fashion store and tell me that this kid's dress costs 40,000. Hello, no, how many bundles of vegetable will I sell to buy a child dress of 40,000? So you know what you can, and all these dresses like come on, we don't have original dresses. It's difficult to find. We can have something similar. And we don't care whether it's original or not. We just want to wear the brand. Like, come on, wear Louis Vuitton. Who gave us original Louis Vuitton? But once a child knows that I'm wearing Louis Vuitton, it's like taking. So you just know what you do. Now your opportunities, like, okay, this is Christmas coming. What should I do? You're in the same line of business, and your threats, as you are thinking, your competitors are thinking. So what are your competitors doing that you are seeing that is making them boom? Business is a competitive world, so don't think you know it all, and you don't sleep in business. That's why you see, you cannot go to an Igbo man's shop and you find just a particular thing he's selling. Never. Even if you must, so that because you meet the various needs of people, and with this it can help you do well in your business, not kind of focusing on a particular business. There's one guy at Amaya in Muyamake. You cannot say that this guy sells this particular thing. Once it's rainy season, they're selling umbrella. Yes, like, let's say market day, by the time he's coming down, like he has gone up the market, he's coming down, he's selling rapun. The next time he's selling camphor, like, guy, you have strength too. And to tell you the truth, this guy does not own anything. So he goes to this trucks. He knows that, okay, a pack of toilet roll is 1,000 if I want to buy, but this truck guy is giving for 850. If he says 10 packs of like, we need toilet roll. Even the low houses now, they use toilet roll. If I sell it for 10 people, I've actually made 1.5 without me investing little or no capital. The only capital I've invested there is myself and myself. So you see that you just understand. So back to understanding your niche, like curve out your niche, know your target population. Then you try to work on your SWOT analysis. I think you, in the midst of all hurdles, you definitely bloom.
Oh, thank you.
And a lot of business people, like, I can get into business now, but you don't expect me to make the same amount of profit. Let's say Crystal is making been there for years. You need to understand that it takes some time. You need to make losses, you start breaking even before you're able to make the profit, which takes time. So if you're able to succeed, let's say within a period of 3 years without falling.
Run everything now. Maybe I start my business now, I just get 10 million profit now. No.
Then that person is not doing business. The person should just do rituals.
Rituals, exactly.
Because that's the easiest way. With business, you don't have it now.
Now, yes.
Go and act like, if you, I don't know how you want to do business and you don't listen to business tycoons. Go and ask Dangote. When the man tells you how much he has lost in business, then you are still living. You act like, why is he still living after losing? Because I remember one time, if I lost 10K now, I think the next thing I'll be seeing myself whether it's oxygen. But now someone has lost millions. That's because he has understood them. Like, you can never make a business without failing.
Yes.
Like, in business, first step is, after you've organized yourself, you plan to fail. I'm not saying you should go and fail, but you plan to fail. Like, in case of failure, what should you do? Should you quit? Now, for someone who had, and please, let's calm down with our expectations, because sometimes we just feel like, because it's Christmas, everybody's going to buy Christmas dress. Who told you? Like, I can keep a dress, the dress I wore 2 years ago. Yeah, you've forgotten about the dress I wear it again. And it goes. So you should not expect to make it big unless you want to do rituals. For that, we don't have advice for you because we're Christians. But if you want business, we're here to help you with business ideas.
Well, thank you so very much. Like, yesterday I was discussing with one of my cousins. He's into building material, and he's been there for, this is the 2nd year, and he told me that the first year was just studies. He has made a lot of losses, but he explained to me that, okay, now he has moved from what is 600 bags cement to 800 bags cement, but he is projecting that by this particular period, maybe next year, you should be at 1,000 bags cement, you should be at this number of road. That's how you look at your opportunities. You look at all those things, and then you see yourself, like, you go for interviews. The worst question that people hate to hear is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Because you don't have a soul.
That's it. Somebody else, I've never seen myself tomorrow asking me about 5 years' time. But you need, as a business person, to know that, okay, if I'm here today, where should I be by next year? You just break even and you just go, you leave your house, just come and say, you know, you need to grow. Maybe today if you're selling toilet roll, tomorrow we can see maybe bathing slippers adding, bathing soap adding. We know you are growing. And there's this mistake that people make. You own a small shop, maybe in a small cartier, that, you know, the strength of the people in that cartier, maybe to purchase, let's just say, drinks. In a week, you might buy 3 crates, and you still dangle to sell the 3 crates, but you understand that that's how that area works. And now somebody in that area maybe has a celebration or maybe a funeral where you know that large number of persons will storm that area. And then you still sit with your 3 crates. Don't you see that as a challenge? Because most people do that. They'll say, I don't have the capital to go and buy. But you need to understand that, okay, if I have a bar and maybe my neighbor has a funeral, more people will come and they might need somewhere to sit. Maybe you go from 3 to 5 crates.
There are people that are actually proactive when it comes to business. That even if the funds are not there, they will do everything. They will think out of the box to be able to grab what they can grab. And just like you are taking an example of funerals, that's what is actually obtainable now almost in all funerals. Wake keeps, you see somebody after the family has mounted its canopies, a person too goes and mount its own canopy with his own drinks that is selling. It's very, very common now in many places. And some people, they weigh the type of ceremony or the type of, if it's a wake keep, they know the quantity of drinks that they can sell there. And it's easy. You see the people selling about 20 crates, 25 crates
for one night.
Just for one night. Do in a funeral.
Something that in a normal store you cannot sell for 1 week.
People that are coming to buy, and how do they go along with those? They go to the guys that are doing the depot. Is it the depot? The wholesale. They could show the persons of the wholesale. Give me this amount of crates of beer. Let me go and sell, and then I'll come and give you back the money. And that's what many people do. Now they're still giving you the crates of drinks or whatever at the retail price. You are going to, at the wholesale price, you are going to sell at the retail price. If per crate your gain is 1,200 and probably you sell about 20 crates, so you can multiply 1,200 by 20 crates of beans for that night. That was the amount of money that you could make, and probably the next day it continues like that. What I just wanted to say while Madam Christel was talking about her the SWOT analysis, and especially on the types of businesses that people do. I want to go directly to the people that are operating on off licenses now, or that are operating in bars. They have actually understood that there are particular customers that don't like much noise. So they'll want to create like some different small angles that you can come and sit there where there is low noise. There is music actually, but very calm music. I mean, they spend so that they can get you, they can bring you in. And once you discover that there's somewhere that is comfortable, that you can always relax. You don't care whether you're buying 2 bottles of drinks or 3 bottles of drinks. You take somebody there, you relax, just like we're talking about. Charge your phone is there on charge. People can even discuss your business stuff, and it goes. Now, as compared to probably the aspect of fashion and clothing in general, there are people that presently they don't pay taxes because they are a mobile shop. When I say they are a mobile shop,
they have supermarkets on their phone.
Now they have supermarkets on their phone, and they are doing a whole lot of profits out of that. Like December is coming now, you can see the amount of goods that they are importing. And how do? They do pre-orders. There are people that do pre-orders. There are people, it depends. And the goods, once they know that your goods are of good quality, somebody doesn't care whether it's spending 2 months to wait for the good, they know that the good will come. And they have taken time to educate their customers on how pre-orders are working. And the customers are very, very okay, and they carry on with that. So it's different from somebody who is selling that same product that probably has been ordered, and that person is adding probably the 6,000 or 3,000, even if it is 2,000 on top of it. If I have this phone at 100,000 that I order it's same quality, then I go to a shop, it's 105,000. Probably, except that I am in a rush or something, I will not take, because I want to actually make my own profit too, or to at least save myself the stress and keep some money in my pocket. So you see that people now that are into the fashion clothing, or in any type of business that you are, you need to think too of the competition that you have. And there is no need, if you if you behave like there is no competition, then you're behaving like there is no business at all, if I should put it that way. Because even those that are selling phones or those that are selling cement or whatever thing, they equally have competitors.
Of course.
Definitely.
Every business has a competitor. Even those that are into coffin making, they equally have their competitors.
Yeah.
So you need to evaluate your competitors. Just like we're talking about SWOT now, that is involving only you and your business alone. You need to go to an extent to doing a pestle analysis of your business. Now you're forgetting about yourself. Okay, you go now out there. What are the others probably out? What are the legislations that you have in place? What is the economy of probably the region or the town or the country that you're operating in, and so on and so forth. So if you don't put some of these things into consideration, you see that you can start today and tomorrow you are going down. And especially in situations where you don't even have the leadership qualities, or let me not say you don't have the leadership qualities, but you fail to take into consideration some of these things that involve human resource. If your business starts growing and you have people that are working under you, now it calls for a different ballgame all entirely, for you to first manage the business and manage the people that are working for you to be able to achieve your objectives. And how do you make your boy in the morning to come and work without his face twisted or something? Because the people go along too with their different locks.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody that
Motivation.
probably you come and then probably the way that you will respond to a customer, he will not come again. And then you start complaining afterwards. I can't hear last time the way their boy answered me and so he just got food, you didn't buy again. Imagine that. What must have transpired between the boss and the subordinate that led to the driving, if I should put it that way, the driving away of some potential customers. And bad news easily flies like
If you scare away one customer,
It
that customer
scares.
goes with 10 others.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Mr. Ebo mentioned something that it's very true, very correct, but I want to draw our attention to it as people, as a shareholders of their online businesses. As in, we understand it.
Yes.
Now, you see these online businesses, no matter how good it promotes or it presents itself, the risks involved is very high.
Of course.
Now, no one, including me anyway, very few of us will want to pre-order if I don't see you having a shop.
Sure.
Because you may have encountered so many people who promise, because normally pre-orders are less expensive. They take into consideration the time. So I personally, I prefer to go to a shop that I'm certain that it's of good quality, not the best, just good, because you may not have the best here, of good quality. And if I kind of compare the prices to a pre-order, and even if the difference is 10,000 francs, I'll buy it, because I can easily change. Most of these pre-orders, whatever you see is whatever you take. And so sometimes now, based on what I've understood and gotten feedback from people, sometimes they feel disappointed. Like, I've actually pre-ordered for something, I even forgot that I ordered the thing. They start telling you shipping and this and this. Then when it later
Start bringing in other persons, and by the time they start bringing in other persons, you see that your market starts growing. Now I'm saying this because the truth is there's nobody who just starts that I want to do online marketing now, and then you just see people from anywhere that you don't even know them coming to fall into your group, and then they start giving you money like that for you to buy. So there must have been some level of trust that they have established in you. But it's very true that sometimes not every day do we have sunshine, because there are some days that you actually do some orders and then
What I ordered versus what I got.
and then you get what you ordered, of course, what you ordered versus what you got, and
And
things
one
like that.
good line too is that you understand your customers. Like, I got sheets from Douala. I saw it online on Facebook. I loved them. I ordered using WhatsApp, their message and all, and I only paid when I saw them.
Yes.
So now when you have a good line of business, like when I saw them, in it we agreed I am responsible for transportation costs. All this is only paid after I see the goods. And we see that we kind of evolve. knowing your opportunities is just so great. Putting all these things together, it helps you really manage your business
it's another way to, for somebody who is doing online business, to build the confidence in customers. Okay, what do you...
And I kind of, as Christelle said, I kind of see the iPad and I check the quality, everything there, and then I pay you. Most people, they believe in what they see.
Sure.
Because truth be told, most of those things you see online, boy, when you see them in physical life, they're two separate things, like light and darkness. So most of the times
I don't even advise somebody except
you
I
are sure.
I don't even advise somebody to go into online business as of now. Because if you want to go into online business, it means that together, if you are ready to pay for consultancy, means that we need to go and we check and we make sure that we do a lot of background studies.
Yes.
Because you see, there's a cry every day, Chinese, and it is the truth. China, they are producing first class goods, at the same time they are producing last class goods. So the same thing you will see here that they are asking you for 200,000, you see the same thing they're asking another person for 25,000.
Yes.
Now if you are going for that of 25,000, but you've seen that same for 250,000, what do you have at the back of your mind? And that's why at the end of the day you come and have problems with customers, because the customer was expecting that he has seen this type of a mobile phone from somebody at the cost of 250 francs or 200,000 francs, and then you said that you bring it for 50,000. Now you have brought the same mobile phone, but what the Frenchman call is it piraterie. You're forgetting to know that this is an imitation of an original. So they do us all of those. But sincerely, I want to advise anybody that do a business that you can be able to see your products, you chat with your customers, you convince them, they buy, you create good relationships, you do networking with them such that next time they can come back and come and continue patronizing you.
That one-on-one is really very, very important. We understand. Now, we one of the things that I've seen, one of the errors that people usually make, maybe when you get into business, that most people are like excited at the start. Christelle wants to open a beauty salon, or maybe a shop, and you, like at the start of the business, you just want to employ everybody. I need a clerk, I need a driver, I need a this, I need a that, without even maybe qualities you think should come from a good leader. We know there's no perfect person out there. People always say leaders are born, some inherit leadership. Yes. Some people, they go to school to study leadership, but there's somebody you see just from birth, growing up, you know that, oh, this one has leadership qualities in them. So what do you think are some of these qualities that we should find in you, who is a leader down there, and maybe in other people who kind of lead other institutions out there?
A good leader should have great communication skills. By default, I'm not a good communicator.
Okay, it's good that you know.
Yeah, I know.
Fine.
But
yeah, bad leader.
I'm not saying I'm a bad leader. I'm coming. By default, I'm not a good communicator. But then the good thing is I'm able to identify that as a challenge, and I'm intentionally working on that. I'm becoming a better communicator.
Yeah.
I'm becoming a better leader. If I'm able to communicate with the people I work with and all of that, we'll be able to understand ourselves. Cool. A good leader should have empathy. I should feel the pain, feel the joy of the people I'm working with, know how to fit into their shoes. I should not just be like, oh, I'm the boss, do this, without understanding how they feel, understanding everything they are going through. I should be open-minded and be receptive to some suggestions, though not all, because I mean, if you're that lenient, they want to tell you what to do, they want to tell you how to lead them. But then I should be able to be open-minded to receive the suggestions they have. When they say, I should say thank you, then sit down in my quiet corner
and reflect on it,
and reflect and analyze this thing the person said. Is it the right thing? Why would they come up with this kind of thing? It means probably there's this thing. Analyze all of that and be able to put 1 and 2 together. A good leader should also know the potentials of their team. I should know the people I'm working with. I should know, oh, this person is good at this, so I should be able to designate this particular assignment to this person, this particular assignment to this other person. and there are a whole lot of qualities a good leader should possess. Thankfully, I have some of the qualities.
All right, thank you so very much. I just pray that if you are a leader and you are listening, when we type those qualities, don't be too overzealous to say, no, yeah, I'm a good communicator. No, I have empathy. I have that. Most of the times we don't. Madam Christel, you bear with me that most people who have institutions, when we want to draw the, should I say, is it the constitution or what, the guide? Yes, code of conduct or whatsoever that guides the company. Majority is maybe rules and rules. You do this, we sack you. You do this, we do that. But now, few about the welfare and betterment of the workers. Because if workers have this environment where, first of all, you see they can air their mind, and then okay, there's this progressive growth. Maybe after 1 year, I can get to this level. Maybe 1,000 francs will add to my salary. After this period, maybe we have this remuneration, we have maybe these allowances. Like in some institutions, we know that people who work in that institution, let me use the Catholic for example, they have this scheme called BEFA. BEFA is a scheme where you as a family, you pay, each person you pay 5,000 francs. And yes, if you are sick, you go there, they cure you for, they pay over, 75% of your bill, you pay 20. Institutions where workers there, when they go to the hospital, the institution will cater for 50% of their hospital bills. Now, don't you think that somebody will just feel very happy belonging to a company like that, where it knows that, okay, apart from this, my 1,000 francs that I take, they still care about certain other things that, okay, if I sick, I go to the hospital, they can cater for my bills and all that. Don't you think that is? But most people who have those institutions, they look on rules, profits and everything, but don't look on the betterment of their staff.
We cannot overemphasize on the aspect of involving your staff in your business. Like, if I'm working somewhere, I want that place, that office should be like a family to me, a second family. And I may not treat them exactly like I do with my immediate family, but I should feel some level of belongingness in that place I'm working at. Now we know that people change people. Sometimes employees' reactions are as a response to how their leaders or bosses, quote and unquote, treat them. And the reverse is true. But I want us to know that the leader has the utmost power to make your organization, your institution, what you want it to be. Rules and regulations are very good, like perfect. If you operate a business or an institution without rules and regulation, then you are definitely planning to fail forever. Not just planning to fail, because when there's laissez-faire, people do little or nothing. People's potentials are not fully used. But in that, consider that these other people working for you have families too. And so they want to see that their well-being. This is an exchange. I'm offering my services to you for the reward of the money you're giving me. So you need me and I need you. It shouldn't be something like, because I'm working for you means I'm a slave, or I just have to be doing things the way you want. Who said you're even paying me up to what I'm offering? And that's why last week we were saying that some people get involved and excited when the top level managers or top level management involve them even in top level decisions. Just like pick a cleaner, I'm like, this is what I'm planning, this is what is going through my, what do you think? Even if that cleaner says something foolish and you may never use, that person goes with some level of self-fulfillment, and we identify that under Maslow's hierarchy of need. And once institutions give employees other benefits or benefits other than their salary, it's a plus. Because when we look at them, let me talk about the Cameroon pay system. All these things have to be in it. Like, they have to consider your health allowance, your transportation allowance, your housing allowance. And sometimes I wonder, like, if someone is being paid 30,000 francs at the end of the month, where should that person stay? This is Boya.
How did that person get to
that person rent a house of 5,000 francs? Does it even exist? And you expect that person to save to be better. So you should give us the employees, please. I'm not an employer, I'm still an employee. Give us the employees the possibility of growth and growing steadily and well. Now I appreciate my place of work. This is no blah 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 talk. Like, I can get sick at any point in time. I'm sure that my bills will be covered. 50%. And to tell you the truth, not only me, but my immediate family. Like, these are not things we plan for. Just imagine that what I receive is, let's say, 50,000 francs, and no extra benefit. I get sick. My mom is sick. My dad is sick. Before you know, only my bills, like sometimes I go through the record, your bill is like 70,000. Like a whole month, no tithe, no rent, no bills, nothing out of it. So leaders, please try to involve us in your line of business, in your line of work and everything. Then you see how you're pinching and putting some buttons that cause us to work overly.
I sure you somebody will out there who will be ready to expose his or her core values to you.
It's not exposing your core values. We already have our objectives.
Yes.
Now let's work with our objectives. If the objectives of an institution should be made known to everybody, and if you call it a vision, it's something that we should see you the visionary.
No, I'm saying so. I'm not denying.
Yes,
you
sir.
and I, we know the things that are obtainable there. But I'm simply saying
We're helping
that
the
because
people.
there are people, there are businesses out there that whether you like it or not, there are workers that only come and see the final product. It means like if it's moving from one stage to the other, the person that does the final work on it is a person, of course, that is, I don't know what I should call it, trusted most or whatever. But for now, it's not in our own context. We don't have most of those, because when it comes to the aspects of probably manufacturing, that's where you have some of these core stuffs that we are talking about, and that's what I call core value. It's like okay, you can do the plastic part of this mobile phone, you can do the screen part, and so on and so on. They have distributed it to other people. But now the core person,
before that phone goes out, needs to pass to that person.
The core person probably is the one who is manufacturing the motherboard, who knows everything that's there and who does the final configuration. So you may be working there, but such you will never be told, or you will never know about it. You just know the things that are.
And Mr. Ebong, due to time, let me just ask you this question before we go. How do you feel working in an institution where maybe they don't promote growth, in the sense that you have people you've employed in your company, maybe they got into your company with advanced level, maybe first degree, and these same particular persons wish to grow, not that they want to grow to leave your company, they want to grow and stay there, because it's very bad that you have people in your team who don't grow. But now you don't want them to grow, and then the person who is at the top sees people who maybe wants to grow as a challenge, or maybe wants to unseat them or take away their seats. What do you think about that? It operates in most institutions.
This is basically the problem that we have in, I don't know what I should call it, the African context or the Cameroon context. Probably I should say the Cameroon context. I don't know how it's obtainable in other places. Most people there who are, let's say, at the managerial position, they think that the efforts that are being made by subordinate staff for them to do good, for them to perform well, are like a challenge to them, or they are like threats to them. And once a manager or a top ranking person simply identifies somebody who is a little proactive, very loved by other persons, he starts putting an eye on that person, and he wants to do everything possible to make you to stay at that same position. What people are forgetting to know is that you can have an advanced level, you have been in a company for 5 years, but you are more performant and more productive as compared to somebody who has a master's degree and has been in that same company for like 2 years. And that's where the experience now comes into play. And who even told everybody that the higher, the more you are educated, the more productive you become. In some cases, is the more you are educated, the more English, the more grammar you can speak, and the more you are less productive. Because you want to take every situation and start analyzing and start bringing big English in it, which at the end of the day does not help. But one thing that I want managers to actually, or those in these business leadership roles, to actually take into consideration, they need to carry on staff appraisals. They need to carry on trainings to develop their employees. In fact, they need to go into human resource practices where you have motivation, you have promotion, you have training, you have all of the performance appraisal. They need to come up with all of these things. It doesn't mean that if you do something wrong today, then I should scold at you, I should behave like you have never ever done anything. So we need to appreciate the little efforts that people are putting in. That is where they are going to come again and do even more. Because if probably you swept well and then your manager says, no, you did a good job today,